Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today is new guitar day. I'm going to be unboxing a new guitar that I got for about half price. So this is a D'Angelico Tour XL DC. So these guitars were on crazy sale for Black Friday and just before Christmas. They really had some wild deals going on. Normally this guitar was about $1,700 Canadian, and they were selling for around the $800 range. And I actually had a lot of trouble trying to get this guitar because there was all these dealers selling them for the discount, but nowhere in Canada was honoring that price. So I had to go through a bunch of different dealers. Originally on Black Friday, the one that I was interested in sold. I didn't get it, the shipping figured out in time. And then just recently they came back again on sale, more in stock for the same price. I even think that there are some left at those crazy prices if you look. Yeah, I finally was able to seal the deal. I had to talk to the dealer themselves and arrange the shipping, and long story short, it's all done and it got here pretty quickly actually. But I'm pretty worried about this package. It arrived in pretty bad shape. There's a lot of big scratches and dings on the box itself. And if you shake the box, it seems like there's a very loose guitar in there. So that's something you don't want to hear, especially international shipping for guitars. You want everything to be very tightly packed. That way there's no issues with it moving around. But so yeah, I'm a little apprehensive to open this, but let's go ahead and see how it fared. So it's actually packed a little bit better than I thought. It had a piece of cardboard here that was protecting the neck and keeping it in place. And there's other inserts of the cardboard kind of keeping the guitar in place and not moving around too much. And it's in a protected gig bag here too. So let's go ahead and pull it out and see how it is. Alright, so it comes in a fairly decent D'Angelico gig bag. It seems, you know, well padded and nice. And another thing I'm a little bit worried about is it's the middle of winter here in Alberta. It was actually minus 40 here last week. It's starting to warm up a little bit. I think it's minus 15 today, so not as bad, but still pretty cold for a guitar. So I like to let the guitar get acclimated before I open it up, just to make sure that the finish adjusts and the wood adjusts to the new temperature and humidity, and you get a lot less problems that way, or at least that's the old wives' tale I was taught my whole life. So I did leave it for about 12 hours just to get used to the temperature before I open this. So your results may vary. I don't know if that's true or not, or if it's an old wives' tale or what have you, but I guess it's better safe than sorry. So let's open it up. So here in the front, it looks like I've got some tools. It's got a lifetime limited warranty, register your instrument for warranty coverage, 30% off apparel and accessories in an online shop, and a chance to win more gear. So that's cool. I've got the original hang tag here, and yeah, just some tools for adjusting. That was in the front pocket. And it looks like the neck is actually tied by a little piece of Velcro there. It doesn't look like it has very good neck support in the bag though. Sometimes on the PRS ones they have that little extra pad behind the neck to give it a little bit extra support, but this one doesn't seem to have that. But the case itself is pretty thickly padded. And I'll just take it out here. It comes in that kind of styrofoam bag kind of a thing that you see a lot of guitars come in, a lot of import guitars. And here it is. So first impressions, it's a really nice blue color. It looks a little bit different than in pictures. I thought there'd be more of a kind of a metallic element to it, but no, it's just basically straight blue. And I'm just gonna have a quick look at the condition of the guitar, make sure nothing got messed up in shipping or there's any obvious issues. Alright, first impressions. Everything looks as it should. There's no cracks or issues anywhere. There's no gloss cracks from maybe transporting. There's no cracks on the neck or near the nut. And just from first impressions, like fit and finish wise, I can't seem to find an issue so far. I haven't gone through it like totally yet, but everything looks good at this point. So let's go ahead and get it on the bench and take some specs. One thing I just want to show is it actually came really close to being in tune. Now it's a little out, but that's pretty impressive for being shipped across the country in the winter. This one came from Brooklyn, New York, and all the way to Alberta. So yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, here it is on the bench. So this is the DC Tour Excel series from D'Angelico, and it's basically just kind of a stripped down version of their Excel series. Just simplified electronics. The headstock's a little different, but the construction is basically the same. Yeah, they're a pretty great deal for the money, especially at half price. And these guitars are from Korea, which is getting a growing reputation of putting out some really nice guitars. And yeah, it's very similar to like a 335. It's got the molded top on here. This is a maple, poplar maple laminated body construction, just like a 335. We've got one tone, one volume. We've got these cool wooden ebony knobs that are kind of good looking. Three-way switch. We've got like a satin nickel tailpiece, a satin nickel two-pneumatic bridge. These F-holes are kind of modeled after 1930s style F-holes, so that's kind of cool. And then we've got these brand new Supro bolt bucker pickups. So these are designed by Supro. It's got an Alnico 5 magnet in the bridge, an Alnico 2 magnet in the neck, and they're supposed to be really well matched, so I'm excited to hear how they sound. There's lots of good reviews on the internet for them. We've got 5-ply binding all the way around the body and neck. The neck is 3-ply. And we've got an ebony fingerboard, medium jumbo frets, and the ebony on this is pretty light. It's kind of looks a little bit more like rosewood, but very dark, kind of streaky rosewood, but it looks really good. We've got the acrylic diamond inlays. We've got a real bone nut on here. We've got an ebony truss cover, which is kind of like that building shape, which is kind of interesting. We've got vintage style Grover tuners and mother of pearl inlay on the headstock here with the Excel series logo and the D'Angelico logo, and then 5-ply binding around the neck as well. Quick look at the back. We've got that 5-ply binding around the body, and it's a set neck, more of that like satin nickel for the strap button, and that's on the back as well. It's got a C-shaped neck, and there's a better look at our Grover Deluxe vintage style tuners with the open slots. And there's our serial number. And as I said before, I went through everything with a fine-tooth comb. I couldn't find any finish flaws or any problems with shipping or anything. This thing came pretty well flawless, and so yeah, that's pretty impressive. I'm gonna go ahead with the weight, and let's check the setup out of the box. And I checked the weight on a bunch of different models on Sweetwater, because on Sweetwater it shows you the actual weight of the guitars, and they were all around the same. They're all hovering around that 7 pounds. This one's 7 pounds 4.2 ounces. So I'm just checking the setup. This is how it was shipped, like out of the box. I haven't adjusted anything yet, so I just want to see what kind of setup that we're working with. Yeah, the neck is set super, super tight. Like the truss rod is set, basically there's no relief in this neck. It's fully straight. So this is usually how I like to set my necks when I'm doing my setup. But if it is set that straight, there is a possibility of some buzz. So let's check the action at the nut here. At the 3rd fret here, if you use the 3rd fret, you can see that the string is just resting very gently against that 1st fret. So it looks like the nut is really well cut. And I'm not getting any buzz in these first couple of frets. So it doesn't really need adjusting at the moment. So let's go ahead and check the action at the 12th fret. Yeah, using the depth gauge at the 12th fret, we've got a between 1.25 and 1.5 millimeters at the 12th fret, and on the high E, it's about a 1.25. So that low E's got great action. That high E, I'd like to get down just a little bit, but you know, that's a really, really, really nice setup just out of the box. And then I'm going to go ahead and check to see if there's any buzzing anywhere. Alright, so yeah, even with that nice low action right out of the box, it came very well set up. There's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. So that's really impressive, especially when, you know, I haven't put a second into the setup of it at all. And and you know, it's an offshore guitar as well. So yeah, that's very, very cool. I want to talk about the neck for a second too as well. This is actually, I looked in the specs, this is a 3-piece neck, so it's maple, 2 pieces of maple with a piece of walnut in the middle. So that's a very, very strong, you know, sturdy neck. So that's a nice feature on these guitars as well. And yeah, I checked the neck with a fret rocker. There's no high frets anywhere, so that's outstanding. And the fret ends are very nicely dressed as well. They've just got a really nice little polish, and it doesn't feel sharp at all. It's super smooth. I'm going to show that with a sock right now. So I'm just using a super thin nylon sock here just to check to see the fret ends, to see if there's any snagging or anything like that. This being an offshore model, that's pretty common on some guitars, but this one feels great. I'm just going to go ahead. So yeah, absolutely nothing on the treble side. Let's try the bass side. And again, nothing. So yeah, 10 out of 10 in terms of fret ends and fret work, because I tried all of the frets with the fret rocker and there was no high frets anywhere. And they're just really nicely well polished. They feel great. And then over here on the Tune-O-Matic bridge, just seeing if there's any snagging or anything else like that. Nope, it's nice and smooth here, so you're not going to catch your hands on anything there either. And our bridge bolt bucker, which is the Alnico 5 pickup, is rating a 7.60, and our neck pickup, which is the Alnico 2, is a 7.37, and in the middle it's reading a 3.77. Here's a quick look at our tailpiece, which is that kind of brushed satin nickel. It appears to be full weight. It's got some heft to it, and there's no other casting marks on there at all. And then here's a look at our Tune-O-Matic style bridge. It's branded BH, and it's that kind of brushed satin nickel as well. And then our posts for the bridge they've got a thumb wheel, they've got that thinner, kind of skinnier post to the body, and there's also an Allen key adjustment on the top, so you can adjust your action with the thumb wheels or the Allen key on the top. And our bridge, or our tailpiece posts, are brushed nickel as well. Alright, let's take a closer look at our bolt buckers. So here we are. Yeah, Nothing really special on the back. They just pretty standard. They've got the 4 gold screws here in our pull pieces, and there is some writing on the back. It says RK20 bridge, and it looks like we've got a 4-wire lead coming from there. I've seen this done on some of the new hollow bodies, and I think it's kind of a good idea. In the cavity here, they actually remove some material so that you have easier access to the controls over here. So that way you can kind of fish stuff through this hole in the bridge cavity. If you're rewiring or something like that, it's a little easier than fishing it through these F-holes. However, these F-holes seem pretty big as well, so I don't think it would be an issue if you ever had to do electronic work on here. And it looks like our cavities are shielded with some shielding paint, and the route looks nice and clean. It's fully finished over top, so I can't really see the layers, but that's where you would see your poplar maple layers right there. And then let's have a look at the bridge pickup, or the neck pickup rather. So yeah, neck pickup is more of the same. It's branded the RK20 neck, and it's got the 4 point wire as well. And you can't really see much of anything in the route because it is shielded. It's a nice clean route, just like the bridge, but I can't really see how long the neck tenon is or any more details about that center block. These ones are like a ES335. They do have a maple center block, but yeah, everything's looking clean and shielded anyway. Let's just go in with an endoscope through the F-holes here and see how that looks. Alright, let's take a look at the base side cavity. And here we are inside. And yeah, everything looks exceptionally clean. There's a couple little glue splatters, but overall very clean. You can see our center maple block there. And looking up into the horn, we can see, yeah, maple, nice maple everywhere, nice kerfing, and it looks clean. Going in the other side, this is the treble side horn. There's our maple block again, and it looks the same, nice and clean inside. And try to get a better look at the electronics here. Yeah, so we've got full-size pots, which is nice. There's a look at our F-hole. The F-holes are bound on this as well, which is a nice touch. There's our volume pot. You can see our little dark red capacitor on the tone pot right there, as well as the output jack, which appears to be not a Switchcraft, but maybe like a Korean part. Yeah, they look pretty standard Korean components there. But yeah, everything looks nice and as it should. And it's just got your standard 2-way truss rod in the cavity there. And here's a look. I tried it. It's nice and responsive. And here's a look at the truss cover, which is nice. It's just a nice polished piece of ebony in kind of like a building shape. I just want to see how low I could get the action without any problems happening, and I got it like crazy low. At the low E, the lowest I managed to get it was, you know, about a 1, and on the high E, it's about a 0.75. So that's very, very low action, and there's still not even a hint of a buzz. I can probably go lower, but yeah, that just tells you that the frets are extremely well done on this guitar. It came perfectly intonated as well, so didn't have to adjust intonation at all. Width at the nut is 1.70 or 43.38 millimeters, and the width at the 12th fret is a 52.74 millimeters or a 2.07 inches. Neck depth at the 1st fret is a 0.84 or a 21.5 millimeters, and at the 12th fret it's a 23.21 millimeters or a 0.91 inches. Here's a look at the neck profile, just a standard C. It flattens out a little bit by the 12th fret, And yeah, it's got a nice kind of middle of the road feel to it. It doesn't feel like a super slim neck, but not a super chunky one either. Just kind of right in the middle. And I just want to show how it sounds acoustically. It's nice and resonant. And I'm getting lots of vibration in the neck too, so it's probably got really good sustain. All right, let's go ahead and plug it in and see how it sounds. All right, I'm plugged into my 1965 Fender Bassman, and I'm using a Sonic Cake Levitate reverb pedal for clean. I'm just gonna go through each position, and then I'm gonna switch to some overdrive. Yeah, sounds excellent. Clean. These bolt puckers are great. Just really articulate. Sounds super nice and very resonant and lots of sustain. Let's go ahead and use a little distortion, our overdrive. Tour XL series. I'm really blown away by this guitar. So not only did I get it for half price, but it came just flawless. Like, it came with not a single finish flaw on here. The fit and finish is great on this guitar. I couldn't find a single thing wrong with anything. And it just came insanely well set up, like perfectly set up with low action. The truss rod was set correctly, super tight, and no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. And it just came ready to rock. And all the specs and materials on this guitar are super, super high end. You've got your ebony fingerboard, your bound neck, your bone nut, your ebony truss cover, two-way truss rod, high-end tuners, the Grover Deluxe tuners with vintage style. And yeah, same wood is like an ES235 maple, poplar maple. Some really classy looking F-holes. I really like the slate blue. It's different than Pelham blue, which I thought is what it would be close to, but just this really nice shade of blue that really complements the cream binding and plastics very, very nicely. And then you've got these really nice, classy ebony knobs here too. The brushed nickel on the hardware looks great as well. And these bolt bucker pickups, these are the new Supro bolt buckers that are made to sound like, you know, vintage PAF style pickups. They sound amazing. They're super articulate. You can hear every note. They're not muddy at all. They're great, clean, or with a little bit of overdrive. And they just sing. They're really, really nice sounding pickups. I'm very impressed with those. Also super light, like just over 7 pounds. Very comfortable to play. Very easy to access these upper frets. The neck feels really, really nice. Just a kind of a on the chunkier side C, kind of in the middle. Not too chunky, but not too slim either. And the frets are super polished and perfectly level, easy to bend. And it came intonated perfectly as well. So, I mean, I can't think of a bad thing to say about this guitar. And actually, if you look right now, these are still on sale. Sweetwater's got a couple left, and there's a couple on Reverb for the discount pricing. Again, these are half off. I doubt they will be forever. So if you're interested in one of these guitars, I would go ahead and scoop one up really quick, because I'm sure the prices are going to go up once this overstock has been sorted out. And I have in no way sponsored for this video by D'Angelico or anything. I just took advantage of the Black Friday sale and bought one, and I'm really, really glad I did, because this is a fantastic guitar. If I had to make one criticism, gun to my head, I wasn't super impressed with the pack job. I don't know if that was the store that I bought it from, or it's from D'Angelico, but there was a little bit of movement in the box. They had a whole nice system in there with like ridges of cardboard holding everything in place, but it should have been packed a little tighter. And the gig bag is a little bit cheap feeling, a little bit like it's not as premium as like a PRS style gig bag. And these guitars, if you paid full price for them, they're not inexpensive, so it'd be nice to get a little bit higher of a quality gig bag. They were decently padded, and the material was okay, but just okay. It could have been nicer. But honestly, everything else in this guitar was just outstanding. Thanks for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'm going to have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.